Whenever beginning any reloading operation, it's a good idea to start out with safety glasses. Even when cleaning a new set of dies, we will be working with aerosols that can get into your eye, so please take your safety very seriously. The next step to set up our dies, which are already cleaned, degreased, and ready to go, we're going to go ahead and install a lock and load bushing. The first station of operation is in the press is right here. As you can see, when the cartridge case is inserted in that position, it indexes around. The first stop it's going to make is under this station, so that is our number 1 station. We're going to go ahead and install the sizing decapping die in that station. With the lock and load bushing, the bushing just slips in about 1/8 of a turn, locks the bushing in, then go ahead and loosen the die up so it's loose in the bushing but that the bushing is tight in the press. We're going to go ahead and raise the ram, and then we're going to hold the lock ring still and screw the die down just until you feel it contact the shell plate. Now once it's contacting the shell plate, that's all you need. Lower the lock ring. Tighten the lock ring up. And by tightening the lock ring, it does 2 things. In a conventional press that's just got 7/8 14 thread, that die is going to be locked in the press. The beauty of the lock and load system is that once you tighten that lock ring, the die is locked into the lock and load bushing, not the press. So die changeover is a snap. Now the next step, the clear plastic tube. We want to slip this tube on to this brass drop tube that comes out the bottom. Spent primers are going to fall through the tube. Next step is to go ahead and insert a cartridge case. We're going to make sure that we have tightened the spindle lock so that the spindle doesn't slip when we're decapping. Take a cartridge case, install it in the first station, go ahead and raise the die into position. There's a spent primer. I missed it when it was coming out, but spent primer came out the tube. The simplest way to set up an auto progressive press is 1 station at a time. Just take baby steps, go slow, and it's super easy. So we've got our first station in place. We'll go ahead and run the case back through again. It's already been deprimed. It won't hurt to size it again. Now on the downstroke, you remember we had the primer system set up. We're going to continue to push forward on the handle with a reasonable amount of force, but not a lot. That's going to seat the primer in the cartridge case. We want to check that. Seated nicely, slightly below flush, right where we want it. So we're going to go ahead and reinsert that back into the shell plate. The next step, or the next die station that we're going to set, is the case mouth expander. I'm going to start that into the lock and load bushing, drop it into this station, tighten the bushing down. We're going to go ahead and raise the ram again, and then we're going to lower the die down until we feel the expander contact the case mouth. Once you feel that, give it approximately half a turn, tighten the lock ring, lower the ram, and check. And what we're looking for is just enough expansion to start the heel of the bullet into the case mouth. We're not quite there yet, so we're going to give it another 1/4 turn. After the initial half turn, you'll want to proceed with 1/4 turns until you get it where you want it, because the adjustment will come on quickly. Base of the bullet fits in the case mouth just enough so that the bullet will hang on. That's exactly what we're looking for. Now, the next station is going to hold the powder measure. However, for setup, we're going to go ahead and get the seating die set first, then we'll add the powder measure in last and get it adjusted properly.